Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time. Welcome to the future. You're right on time. Woohoo!
You're right on time. Accumulate your Bitcoin.
There you go. It's been a hot minute. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I'm doing really well. So everybody, welcome back to the podcast. We've been down for, probably just over a month, but I had a medical emergency. I'm totally fine. So excited to be back. I've missed this. I've missed your face. You're gorgeous.
Well, as are you. I think we've chatted a number of times over the phone, but I think we Zoomed once.
Yeah.
But outside of that, so it's good to see you. You look great. So, yeah.
Yeah, so do you. Yeah. Yep, feeling good. Better every day.
Absolutely. And boy, what a wild ride we continue to be on. So,
when I was I really unplugged while I was healing, and it's amazing how some things didn't change, but man, did the dollar devalue while I was down. I haven't been to the store, I haven't been doing too much of anything, and then I go back to the grocery store and I'm like,
yeah,
inflation on food just keeps going up.
Yeah, and you really have to wonder how everybody makes their ends meet.
Well, it's interesting. So I actually I talked to a couple of people in the community, and it made me do some research on the buy now, pay later program that they have going around. And George Gammon came out with a quick, I think it was a short, but he said some of the statistics from LendingTree is showing that 44% of people that use that app are using it to put food on their table. So buy now, pay later, just to put food on the table.
Well, it's pretty interesting. I don't know about you, but even for myself, I am receiving credit card company after credit card correspondence for new credit cards. I get 5 a week.
That's insane. They want our deposits.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wow, this is really interesting. Just a little bit of a surge. So I have a little bit of a delay on my side video wise. I don't know if that's happening. We don't often go live. We did go live today, and I think it's only hitting YouTube for some reason. So if anybody happens to be out there, and if you're getting a delay, I apologize.
Yeah, you're coming good on my end. So
okay, good.
Am I delayed?
You're delayed for me. Absolutely. You're actually frozen right now, but I can hear you fine. So we'll just keep on going through it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So the other thing that I noticed too, Kel, is so within the past 45 days, we had 4 banks fail: Silvergate, Signature, Silicon Valley Bank, and then now First Republic Bank.
Yes. It's wild.
I mean, what are you thinking about the agenda going on? You think this is all part of their plan?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think tech. You and I, we have our own thoughts, and they're pretty much in parallel. But I mean, if we think about they're just planning to push us all into a few key banks, and those will be the ones that kind of rule the world. I mean, the writing's on the wall. But I think I actually mentioned to you last week that there's a new credit union opening up right down the road from me, and I'm like, wow. That's bold in today's world to try to open a new credit union.
Yeah, especially if they're not connected to the up and coming digital currency that the banks are going to start to custody. It's going to be very interesting how this whole thing, one, definitely plays out, because I see a company, a software development company like Apple becoming a bank.
Yeah.
And even Coinbase becoming a bank.
Well, and they, as we all remember, not that long ago, they were trying to get everybody to deposit their paychecks right directly into Coinbase. So I wouldn't be surprised that there's obviously an agenda to push people towards a specific way. And Jamie Dimon is laughing all the way to the bank. Ha ha ha. So
Yeah, unbelievable. So JP Morgan holds more than 10% of deposits from all the depositors for the banking system. So it was actually illegal. Oh no. Oh, I lost you for a second. That was weird.
yeah, it's a little bit wonky, it seems, but you're still there.
Yeah, my screen, we completely cut off. The screen went black and then it went right back on.
Okay.
I thought it actually like turned off.
So far, so good.
They don't want us to talk about JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon.
That's it, right?
But, the deal never should have been done, right? It was completely illegal. And once again, it's just like, the people that control the money they control the rules. They just change them. They change them to suit the needs that they want.
Well, and it's also interesting because it's always like, okay, it's Friday afternoon, time for a new banking crisis. So
Yeah.
we'll see every Friday. It's like, what's going to happen for that particular weekend? Yeah, it's really, really fascinating. And I think, wasn't it the Dodd-Frank Act? You have to really question whatever it was that they've tried to implement over the past, because what was that, 250,000?
With the FDIC?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're looking to do like unlimited.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's like,
Right.
really, what is the point? It's actually rather comical.
Yep. And then I've been hearing Jamie Dimon's like new narrative to ban short sales of banks.
Oh, is that
that's exactly what they did right before the 2008 crisis. Like they implemented the ban, and then what happened was the banking stocks like pumped a little bit, and then we saw a huge crash in the stock market because it pulls all the liquidity out of the market. People panic because they think that they don't understand what's going on in the banking system, so they start pulling their money out of the market. Traders aren't trading because they trade, long and short, most of them.
Yeah.
So it's just really interesting to see, like, within like the next week or two, how this happens. And if you look at some of the failing banks, their stocks are up. So I'm very curious to see if that narrative is already playing out and we're just waiting for final word. We'll see what this week brings, but
Yep.
I'd put money on it.
Yep. Like we say, you should invest in popcorn.
Yeah, invest in popcorn. And, the other thing is too, the market is so crazy all across the board. It's really important to diversify.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about that for a long time, but even more so in today's world, as you see all this really taking place in real time. We've been trying to forewarn people to diversify, even pull funds out of the banks. But now and I don't know exactly what we're going to tap on here, but it's almost like, now what do? Put money back into the bank. You really don't know what to do.
You really don't know. I mean, a lot of people are starting to put money in treasuries. So they're pulling the money out of the banks that are giving them like not even 1%. And the treasury is giving you like about 5%. So again, that's like more outflow to the banking systems. But we all know the Fed app's being rolled out in July. So again, like the infrastructure is done. We're going to see if a digital dollar, some sort of central bank digital currency, is going to flow to all of the citizens. And we'll see how people are going to react. Like, I don't know how it's going to go down. States are already putting in bills to ban the use of a central bank digital currency. North Carolina, Texas, Florida. I'm sure there's others. And I saw like a Wall Street journalist be like, why are these states banning something that's not even in existence yet? Like totally downplaying the whole situation, like not understanding what a central bank digital currency is, or feeding the narrative, which is probably what it is.
Well, and we talked about that for months. It's crazy how it's really not on people's radar, and people think it's a conspiracy theory, even though it's actually written and, outlined in the agenda on these, on the Fed app now, websites and things of that nature. So it is interesting. But I do think I'm going to hold this thread that it will fail. And I'm just going to keep that thread that the whole process will fail. But until then, we still have to go through whatever they're going to push us through. They're going to be pushing us through a series of steps and events to try to roll it out.
Yeah, definitely. Because the more and more I see what's going on, and I see like the pushback from people about the central bank digital currency, there's got to be like some sort of agenda, some sort of big event to be like, here's the solution to the problem that we created.
Right.
Because the banks are the ones that gave these commercial banks and some of these regional banks like pretty much free money. And now they raise interest rates to 5.5%. The banks can't pay their loans back.
Right.
And then people are putting their money in treasuries, and then people like us get nervous. We pull some more money out and keep it in the house. Like, none of this is a good situation.
No, it's really not.
And again, it's like when I see like the end goal from these folks, like I really think they need to centralize the fiat money in order to control like more like a social credit, like kind of a system. So they're not going to stop, but at the same time, I think we had a really good chance to stop these people. I really do.
I think in the long run we do, but in the meantime, we just have to hold to our truth. And that's what it really comes down to, is being able to stand in your truth and being willing to stand up and step out of line.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Definitely. You got to step out of line. I know. And then just the narratives of the anti-cryptos too, like, coming back in, and it's like the same story with Senator Warren and Sherman and all these people, just kind of talking about how cryptocurrency with a $1 trillion market cap is like bringing the demise of the United States dollar. But it has everything to do with the interest rates and banks over leveraging customers' deposits. Right? Not $1 trillion, market cap. And now JP Morgan's double. They have over $2 trillion now.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's really hard to wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, I think the other thing too is like, just to kind of like talk about a concern, because we know JP Morgan has that permissioned Ethereum blockchain, and it's called ONYX. And when I listen to these folks speak, Cal, they're all about like the blockchain's going to be super successful. The tokenization of securities and assets are coming, but it's all on the blockchain. It has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. And I want to kind of just like share with everybody that like the use of a cryptocurrency in these blockchains is what really keeps it decentralized. So we don't want to see JP Morgan get too much power with their permissioned Ethereum blockchain.
Right. And I think also keeping in mind that JP Morgan also owns MetaMask.
Right.
Which is an important piece, because MetaMask is supposed to be part of the decentralized process. It's not very decentralized when you think of who owns it. So anyway, JP Morgan has their fingers in a few things that I don't think they should. But who am I to say?
Yeah. But, and I think like too, like, just to get back to Ethereum for a moment too, it's like, I see the rise of Pepe coin. I'm so happy people are making money off of it. I'm so happy. Always take your initial investment out, but like we're seeing the rise of ETH fees.
Oh my gosh, right? Absolutely. And that's one of the things about these meme coins, and I think it's going into altcoin meme season, and I'm a big fan. If you see something, you get into it, what have you. I mean, I played with those, and I'm still looking at things. I'm not in Pepe, just full disclosure. But man, they make it difficult. If you are in it, they sure do put those gas fees up way, way, way high. So if you're in it, you better figure out how to have a hefty amount of Ethereum in your account too, so you can get out of it and take care of your profits.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And Ethereum really benefits off of this for now. But then what's going to happen, like let's just talk about like the next bull cycle that's going to happen in about less than a year, right? Because the Bitcoin halving is in less than a year.
Right, I know.
So we'll start that new cycle, and Hydra, which is the layer 2 scaling solution for Cardano, it just went live on mainnet.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yep. So we're talking like interoperability, like just like multi-chain capability. And as more and more people develop on Cardano's blockchain, the more it's going to be able to scale, and the faster it gets and the more scalability that it gets. So I think the goal for Hydra is to be able to do 1 million transactions per second. It's going to take time to get there. But if Cardano pulls this off, a lot of people are probably going to come to Cardano to build on their blockchain if Ethereum can't get their fees under control.
Right, right. That's the biggest problem with Ethereum.
Yep. And it's super exciting for like someone like me and other people who've been holding Cardano, because it like I saw it go from like a concept into like we're almost entering the last stage. Like we're going into governance now for Cardano, and then it's like complete. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about Cardano.
Yeah, no, I know you've been a huge Cardano fan from the very beginning. Big fan of Charles Hodgkinson. So yeah, absolutely. That's great. And the great thing about Cardano, and we've also been staking it all this time, which is great. So can't complain when we stake and get extra coins.
That's right. And very decentralized blockchain. Yep. So, if more of these blockchains like Ethereum become centralized, we'll see other chains like Pulse Chain, Cardano, the ones that are truly decentralized, they will rise, because that's what people are going to want is, obviously to like participate on a decentralized platform, have decentralized identities, like all of those things are going to come into play, so we really want to stay educated on it.
Yeah, no, it'll be really interesting to see how it actually begins to be implemented as they actually go live with this.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I'm pretty psyched. I'm pretty bullish about Cardano. So I think the other thing I wanted to talk about too is like I heard the SEC is going after Algorand and Dash and OMG, and no one delisted their coins. Coinbase didn't delist their coins like they did with XRP. So I'm really curious because, Cal, I don't know if you heard, but Coinbase put a complaint in, is basically suing the SEC, and they want clarity for digital assets and what is actually a security. They have 10 days to respond, which I think it should be at the end of this week. We might know beginning of next week. I think will be 10 days. And I'm super curious to see what happens. I don't think Gary Gensler is going to answer the question like in a direct way. He'll
right, probably not. But that's pretty. I remember seeing it, but I honestly did not do a deep dive into that announcement. But 10 days doesn't give them. I mean, I guess I'm comparing it to XRP, which is like trying to pull teeth. I mean, it's like forever and a day before anything is ever going to come to a conclusion with that. So it'll be interesting to see. But the SEC is going after everybody. I don't think there's too many projects that have been untouched, it seems, at this rate.
Yeah. So I'm just starting to think we're definitely going to get some sort of like regulatory clarity, at some point, right? We're gonna, like, at some point.
Well, and we need it so we can move forward. I mean, let's just get it done.
Yep.
So
I
we
know.
know. Yeah.
I know. It's really interesting too, because Coinbase is looking to do business outside the United States now. And like when I look at all of the news and I try to look at it from like above, and I'm trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together,
Right.
it is a really good way to almost complete this globalization process, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it's like, oh, we're losing innovation in the United States. I mean, are we, or are we just expanding into other countries, and are other countries expanding into other countries with a handful of platforms? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that this digital revolution that we're going through is what will take us into that next juncture of mankind and humanity. And it's an important step, and we're going to have to go through it. And I think it's pretty amazing to actually be living consciously through the shift. And because it's so monumentous, right? But it's kind of a crapshoot. It's kind of like, when the internet was first launched, nobody thought that it would ever really stick.
Right.
And look at where we are today. So
Yep. Yep.
bumps and bruises for certain. And we're certainly experiencing, and it's moving so fast. I mean, I think that's the other thing, because technology is so fast that, yeah.
I know. I know. I think there were some folks talking about like trying to slow down or halt AI for a little while. But
Yeah. I think Elon was one of those that signed off of it. And I was listening to a podcast recently, and the question was, did these people, and I don't know how many people who signed off on the slowdown of AI, did they do that so that they could catch up to the technology? Or did they do that really to just say, hey, let's take a breath and see what direction we're going? So, who knows? The truth is a fine line to find.
yeah, no, for sure. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if we'll ever know the truth.
No, nope. And honestly, I'm not going to spend that much time trying to figure it out. I just want to know what resonates for me. And we encourage you all too. I mean, that's why we show up when we do, to just lean into what feels like it's real for the future.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. So how are you feeling about the crypto market lately?
Oh, I'm super excited about it. I think, I continue to dollar cost average in on various projects, which we've discussed throughout the many, many months that we've been doing this. I'm looking at I'm trying not to, but I have to say, honestly, I am looking at new projects, but I already need to really streamline my portfolio. But no, I'm excited about it. I think that when you look at the technicals, I mean, we just finished, we have some great 3-month charts. The first quarter is obviously done, but those closes are looking really, really strong and very bullish. But then we have the fall to go through, and I think there's going to be, you know, a push for downward movement. We'll just see. But overarchingly, I'm very, very comfortable and confident with what we've got going on out there. How about you?
It's the future.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we own a piece of the future. It's just exactly what you said with the internet. It's just we're in early and we're hodling on and we're going through the bumps because we know that this is moving forward. When I see like a bill trying to get passed by the Biden administration to like tax Bitcoin miners 30%, this is a real industry. Like, this isn't going anywhere. We're just battling to try to find some sort of common ground of like moving forward. I saw the state of Montana, you don't have to pay capital gains tax on Bitcoin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, either Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining. But yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting.
Well, and I think that I just think it's just really fascinating how all of it's panning out, because I don't know. I think I lost my train. I did. I was gonna take us down a road, but apparently I wasn't supposed to. So we'll skip that thread. I lost it. No, I lost
Yeah.
it. We'll come back.
I know, but I'm with you too. Like I see Algorand trading down at like 17 cents, like knowing what the project could become. It's
Yeah.
just like, I think that's the lowest price I've ever seen Algorand.
I have actually, I think I just have a small amount of Algorand. So, but you've been in the, in this whole process a lot longer than I have been. So you've been holding on to some of these coins that we talk about every now and again from, inception, if you will, early on, which is awesome because you've been riding the wave for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely it's definitely a blessing. I do see things changing so quickly and new projects and like even better technology. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I see that decentralization coming. I see that centralization coming. I think the IMF is about to release like their unicoin. Like things are definitely starting to get real. So we're going to actually see who some of these winners and losers are, you know.
Yeah, and Musk is going to have his X coin out eventually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still projects that are being launched through all of this.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And again, I do think a lot of them, like, and I've always said this, and I see it even more and more, like Cardano is going to interoperate with Cosmos, which is going to interoperate with Algorand and Ethereum. They're all going to like connect. I think
Yeah.
it's the only way to really scale to like to where we need to be, you know, especially if we're moving to like this fee based like transaction kind of system, which is what I see happening. So I don't know.
It's right around the corner. So we
It.
just have to keep on, really just being prepared for all the changes. Who knows where all the grains of sand will land, um, but are you looking at investing in anything new yourself?
I have like a list. I'm not gonna lie, and it's not even a short list.
And what would be on the top of that list?
Well, I've been doing a lot of research on Jasmy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
we talked about that.
Jasmy, with like Kelly had mentioned Jasmy to me, and it's a decentralized storage, and I've been starting to dollar cost average into Filecoin. So I jumped into Jasmy, and Jasmy was created in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a decentralized storage. And like the narrative behind Jasmy is that it's the Bitcoin for Japan.
So see, I mean, I've been familiar with Jasmine. I myself still have not invested in it. I know many people who have,
Hmm.
and you can acquire that through your SafePal wallet. Just so you know,
I already added the coin.
I figured you did. It sounded like you did. So that's awesome. And I know quite a few people that have been in it for a while. So that's great.
Yeah.
So it's the Bitcoin of Japan.
That's
Hmm.
kind of the hype and narrative that I'm seeing, at least behind it. But I think decentralized storage is going to be so big in the next bull cycle, and especially when we start, heading more towards adoption with like a majority. Think about the majority of the people are going to have digital IDs, if not everybody, a digital driver's license, digital medical card. All of this information needs to be stored. So that's why like Jasmine really kind of like caught my eye. So I'm going to do a deeper dive on it. I think I had mentioned to you, I saw a rumor that they had partnered with Binance.
Yeah.
Then I started doing research on Binance, and then Binance, it looks like they were doing all these nefarious things with like money laundering and who knows what. It was bad. The stuff that I was reading was bad.
Well, and you know what? I don't think there's any one of those particular companies, and I'm sure there's maybe one or two, or no, who knows? But these big ones that have been in it for a while that haven't put their toes in some murky water somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's about that truth again coming. What is the truth? Full disclosure, let's keep it coming because I mean, I use Binance US. We can't use obviously Binance.com, and I use a number of other exchanges as well. But it's really hard to know who's going to make it at the end of the day and who isn't doing something shady.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, it's like if the Department of Justice comes in and seizes Binance, like, Binance is the largest exchange for cryptocurrency, period.
Right.
So,
And as we speak to, if you're acquiring coins for any whatever reason, don't keep them live on the exchanges. Buy them and transfer them to your cold storage. Because if they're on the exchange, if a situation like that, which we've lived so many times over in the last year, where exchanges have just gone under and taken our tokens with them if we're not keeping them on cold storage. So
exactly. And I'm wondering if that's why the government stepped in and stopped Binance from buying Voyager. Like, who knows?
yeah.
Only they know.
Yeah. And what did the government step in, or did Binance just say, I think we're going to back off?
No, it was the government.
Oh, the government. Okay.
Yeah, because they went to court and the judge even sided with Binance, and then they were like, no. So I think there's been this huge investigation that's been going on for some time. And so yeah, we'll see what happens. But like Kelly said, you got to be your own bank. If you're going to own crypto, get yourself a hardware wallet, just take that personal responsibility, because, like something like Jasmine, that's not even like, let's just say you wanted to pick up a little bit and you hold it through the next bull cycle. And what if it gets adopted? Like, you don't know for sure, but like a coin like that can, change your life.
And I
So,
think if I remember, isn't it 0.007 now?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've been watching it since 0.00. I just haven't invested. It wasn't one of those things yet. But yeah, so I mean, it's a great opportunity still. I mean, anything. There's so many wonderful opportunities out there for solid projects.
Right. And that's part of my problem. It's just like, how many crypto projects, can I invest in? Because the list is already very long.
Right.
I have a big board and I'm like constantly like, changing and then writing more to the side. And,
Yeah.
I was listening to a video yesterday and it looks like they're going to start building smart contracts on Bitcoin. So here we are, it's not even in existence yet. And they're going to build this whole ecosystem, on top of Bitcoin. What is that going to look like? I mean, how successful would that be? Like, very successful,
Yeah, I don't know enough about the security, not security, that's not really the right operability of Bitcoin in comparison to some of these other projects, because Bitcoin wasn't originally created for that thought process.
Right. But they're moving forward. So I'll keep everybody posted. We'll see. It's so early right now. But I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it, because, you just watch some of these ecosystems develop and you can see the potential, and the future of the world is going to be built on the blockchain with these decentralized apps. So businesses, real estate, everything is coming to the blockchain, whether that's on Algorand, Cosmos, Polkadot, XRP Ledger, whatever it is, they're building.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Well, it's exciting to be again on that front edge of it and being aware of it, because there's, as you and I have talked, there's a lot of people that aren't aware. And those aren't the people that are listening to this podcast. Well, although we do want to reach them. There's a lot of people.
Please share the podcast with your friends and family, because the thing is, it's like, look at the Bitcoin chart and see when that halving starts. It's just, it's mathematics. It's an algorithm. And again, we're going to be going into like this bell curve of adoption, where we're going to see the tokenization of real world assets. Like, real world assets are going to be tokenized and put on the blockchain, and there will be decentralized finance, gaming, NFTs, art, like everything is coming to the blockchain. So I just would feel bad if everyone just held United States dollars, while every month that goes by, people are losing purchasing power. Whether the numbers tell you that or not, we know that inflation keeps going up. I mean, and that's the bottom line. So it's just really, really important to like start learning about crypto.
I agree. Yep, that's why we're in it. That's why we bring it up, and so, when we bring it up in conversation, and people look at us like we're crazy. Like, okay, I get it. That's overarchingly the end result is typically that. So,
I know, like when I was in the hospital, I kept talking to all the nurses about cryptocurrency and, like what's Bitcoin and all of these things. It was so funny. But, we got to do it when we can because we see the world is changing and we've been in it for so long. So we're kind of comfortable in the new world already. But folks that aren't, it's like I look at like Argentina and their currency is like completely devalued now.
yeah.
So, basically what the government did is blocked all the on ramps to buy Bitcoin. So it's always better to be prepared before a crisis because then once it happens, you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I bought a little bit of Bitcoin or I bought a little bit of gold. I got the Glint Pay card. I got grams of gold. I can go buy my goods and services without taking like wheelbarrows of dollars. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to the United States, but I mean, food has like what, at least doubled since like
Oh,
2020, you
yeah.
know?
I think it's just like the hegemony of the United States dollar is slowly slipping away, and it's not going to happen completely overnight. We're seeing it.
Right.
So, yep.
you know, and hopefully it'll balance itself out. I mean, none of us should want the dollar to fail. I mean, really, if we think about it,
Of
because
course
it'll
not.
cause so much chaos and hurt. But at the same time, I just don't know. Like if the government comes in and they say no more short selling,
Mm.
I just the stock market will crash because that's what happens. And then if the stock market crashes, we'll get one more dip for crypto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think that this opportunity also gives us a window into looking at different funds. I mean, we're talking about the stock market, and we talk about how even our portfolios are invested in our IRAs or whatever fund manager you may be working with. I would really encourage people to stretch outside of US funds and look at other emerging economies and what businesses are available through these other country funds. And they are available out there. You just need to find the right financial advisor that's willing to step outside these walls and look at some of these other opportunities, because I think there's some really big ones out there.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you because emerging countries are going to rise, right? They have been adopting all of this new technology and we're trying to hold on to what we have. And it's just, I mean, when I look at the United States economy, we have problems every which way you turn. We have the debt ceiling that needs to be increased. And then if it's increased, what's going to happen? Are they going to drop our credit rating? And like all of it, everything is kind of lining up right now. That's not looking good for the dollar. So I think to put some money in the Swiss franc or something like that, or an emerging market, why not?
Yeah, I think that I mean, I just think we become more and more global, that there's other opportunities. And, they weigh the scales. They want the way they want the scales to look. So on any given day, an index fund could be something completely different than what it is in reality. And I'm not a fan. Not a fan. But in full disclosure, I'm not heavily investing, in all these things, but I am reading and I am listening and I am trying to understand what the new threads look like, and it's definitely stepping outside of the walls of what we've been accustomed to.
Yeah, for sure. And we have to. I mean, the BRICS nations are only growing, right? They're calling it the BRICS Plus now.
Yeah.
So it's like all of these countries are going to start trading either with the yuan or their own, currency. And it's just like that's less money that's being used for the United States dollar. And again, but it's definitely a process. I don't think it's going to fall like overnight. I don't think we don't maybe with our banks, we need to be panicking a little bit. Like I would not be in a small bank. And that's just my personal opinion. I know we want to support some of these banks and we don't want them to go away. But at the same time, at what point will the government be like, they're going to pick the winners and losers, you know?
Well, and I think the small banks would fail by being absorbed into a bigger bank.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're holding, if you're an investor and you're investing in those small banks, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you're, you know, Joe and Jane and you've got your account at a credit union and, you're not holding any more than $250,000, in terms of what the FDIC can insure or what they say they insure, although they're covering everybody. I don't think that they're going to lose. They're just going to be pushed in a different direction. That's the way I read it.
I hope so. I mean, I hope they don't pick winners and losers, you know?
I don't know how they could.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are in, it's not like we're economists and we've been studying this all our lives. But I just can't. I have to err on the side of hope in terms of that crop.
That's good. I just don't trust them.
I don't trust them either. But I'm just saying, I just can't imagine how they could do that. But yeah, I can't imagine.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, I think another token I'm going to start to do some research on is Blur, because I think Blur should be one of the biggest NFT platforms, and Cardano is going to connect with Ethereum to come out with it's called Voomio, VOOMIO, and it's they're connecting for a big time NFT platform. So I'm gonna start doing a deeper dive on that, just because I've been following Gala. So if anybody holds Gala, make sure your wallet is supporting the new conversion of their token. They're going from like their current Gala token to Gala 2. And then your current Gala tokens, they'll do the screenshot on the 15th, or they'll do the conversion on the 15th. And if you have your Gala tokens on Coinbase, they're not going to support it.
Yeah. So what is supporting, so Gala, what does support Gala? I'm trying to think. I know I am a holder of Gala as well. Yeah. I remember reading something about this. I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah, so that was a car.
Yes, it was.
It was Florida, man.
It's telling me I better pay attention and get this taken care of. That's what it's saying.
Yeah, so I actually jumped on Twitter and I sent SafePal a message. And then I think it was a bot because they didn't make any sense when they responded. But Gala actually jumped on and responded to my tweet. And so I just responded before we got on, asking them what wallets, is the conversion going to be supported. But I'm pretty sure you can move your coins over to Ledger. I don't know if SafePal is supporting it on the hardware wallet. I'm not sure, but they said a private wallet, but like there's a lot of private wallets. Like, so.
Well, and I think I was acquiring anyway. We'll do some deep dives.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So as soon as I find out, I'll post it, in our group here in case anybody's holding Gala, and maybe we'll just follow up. I think our next podcast is before the 15th, so we'll just do another announcement about it. I'll make a note.
Okay. And hello, Mary. She's joining us from Lincoln City.
Hey, Mary.
I hope it's sunny over there, but awesome.
Awesome. Well, this was so much fun. I'm so happy to be back. I mean, I've definitely been so out of it, but I'm like, so happy to be back. Yeah, for sure.
Needed to be. All in good time. The world turns and we have to do what we have to do. But you look great. It's good to see you again. And I'm glad. I'm glad to have us back on here now.
Yeah, for sure. You're perfect.
Is there anything else we should cover before we bid our adieus. There's nothing, we don't have anything planned. We're just getting our feet back on the ground. So bear with us and we'll see what the future holds.
You got it. And until next week, what are we going to do, Kelly?
Huddle on.
Huddle on.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomeninCrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, huddle on.